Gender bias is not intentional, but it is insidious and pervasive, and it influences how we label what we see, and it has certainly contributed to the limited and delayed diagnoses of females. Women's non-traditional presentation may appear less impaired, and inattentive symptoms rarely arouse concern. Many were never referred as girls or teens by teachers or parents or by primary care providers. Rating scales are still skewed towards male behavior symptoms based, again, on that history. And internalized symptoms are unaddressed, and many instruments are not normed for women's values. So we are still perpetuating the idea that it is much easier to be diagnosed if you look similar to hyperactive males. Women regularly feel that their concerns are not perceived as credible. When I got involved in this field, I went to a conference and the keynote speaker referred to girls as ADD wannabes. Not exactly where we are now, because that was the early 90s, but it's still a case where women have sub-threshold number of criteria because those criteria are still very male-based behaviors. Girls would not be showing their symptoms until puberty, and we'll talk about why in a minute. So a cutoff at age 7 was going to mean that we would still not be getting too many girls picked up. So inattentive symptoms remain constant over the lifespan while hyperactivity wanes. It is why we have to start looking at a lifespan impairment model. They need to be interviewed about the internalizing issues because they're not tapped by rating scales. And they also need to have trauma-informed questions because these histories have a huge impact on their ADHD symptoms. And unfortunately, the end result of being invisible is that they are less likely to be medicated